Hi, this is Janet Eifred. In this video I want to show you all about time, all you need to know about time. How to read the clock, how to work out the 12-hour clock, the 24-hour clock, and so on. Okay, so let's get started with time facts. So what you need to know, everything you need to know, how many hours in one day and so on. So why don't you try to fill this in? Also, you're going to use your knuckle method to calculate the number of days in a month. And try to fill in, to pause the video now, try to fill in this, as many as you know, and then we can look at the next answers. We're moving to the answers now, and there's your answers. So you can check. No need for me to go through this with you. And also, did you know how the knuckle method works? So you will hold your knuckles, you will see your knuckles like that. The top will be 31, so January is 31, February will be less. February is the only odd one out, which is 28, but 29 in a leap year. In a leap year we have one more day, as you can see here. 365 days, but when there's a leap year there's one more, 366. Okay, then February is the odd one out, so January, February, March, April, May. So every time at the top it's 31 and in the bottom it's going to be 30 days. Okay, so there you go, you can try that. Okay, pause the video if you want to look more. We're moving on. Now, to go between hours and minutes. From 1 hour, we know there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, so from hours to minutes we need to times by 60. But then if we work back from minutes to hours, we will divide by 60. And it's exactly the same for seconds. 1 minute is 60 seconds. So from minutes to 60 to seconds you will times by 60. From seconds to minutes you will divide by 60. Okay, pause the video and you try to have a go at this and see how many you can do. We're moving to the answers now. And there you go, there's your answers. Now the only thing I want to do with you is I want to look at years and months. 10 years and 11 months plus 15 months. Let's look, how will we do this? We will think 10 years and 11 months. Can you see, you will go 1 month and then you'll at the next full year, which is 11 years. Then you will go a whole 1 year and then you will go to 12 years. Yeah, that's a whole 1 year. And now we wanted to add 15 months. We already added, this is 12 months and 1. In other words, we already added 13. So we need to add another 2 months. In other words, it would be 12 years and 2 months. So this would be the best way to work. To always work to the next full hour or full year in this case. Okay? Hopefully you understood all of those. Let's move on. Pause the video if you want to still mark your answers. Now we're quickly going to look at decimal time. If you would work with your calculator and you get a decimal answer, you get 0.5 hours. How many minutes is that? Now I get different answers. There's some students say it's 5 minutes, others say it's 50 minutes. But what is 0.5 as a fraction? It is a half, isn't it? A half is 0.5. In other words, it's a half an hour, which is 30 minutes. Okay? What is 0.25? 0.25 is, as a fraction, is a quarter. And think of your clock. A half of the clock is 30. And a quarter of the clock is 15. So it is 15 minutes. So what would 1.25 hours be? It's 1 hour and 15 minutes because it's 1 plus 0.25 and so on. Okay, you try to do this. Calculate the following time intervals from 9 to 10:40. What's the easiest way to do that? Number 7. We start at 9 and we go to the next full hour, which is 10, and then we go to 10:40. So that is a whole 1 hour, and that is 40 minutes. So it's 1 hour and 40 minutes. I always work in full hours from 9 to 12:10. Try to do this. Pause the video to do it now. We move to the answers now. There's your answers. Did you get this? Let's work through number 10 here. That's a good one to practice. From 16:45, what's your next full hour? The next full hour is 17 hours. The next full hour is 18. 16, 17, 18. The next full hour is 19, which is out. Okay, how long is it from 16:45 to 17 hours? It is 15 minutes. And that is 1 hour. And then to 18:50 is 50 minutes. So we've got 1 hour and 50 plus 15 is 65 minutes. In other words, we can take a 60 from here and we can make 2 hours because 60 minutes is 1 hour. So if we take off a 60 there, that becomes 2 and we have 5 minutes. So that's how we got the 2 hours and 5 minutes. Okay, I just want to look at another way to do it. You could have said 16:45 and the next 1 hour is 1 hour to 17:45. It is 1 hour to 18:45. And then you need to think I need to go to 18:50. In other words, that is 50 take away 45, 5 minutes. So that's your 2 hours and 5 minutes there. So always different ways to do it. Do whatever you find the easiest. Okay? Pause the video if you wanted to check further. We're moving on. Now, we need to find time intervals between 19:05 and 20:50. We're going to just practice what we've learned right now, okay? So what will be the easiest way for you? You can think how long is it till the next full hour, which is 20, or we can go 19:05 to 20:05, and that is 1 hour, isn't it? And then we can go to 20:50. So 50 take away 5 is 45, so it's 45 minutes, yes? That is 1 hour and that is 45 minutes. Okay, you go and you try the rest. Pause the video. Now there you go, there's your answers. Please check and see that you can work this out independently on your own. Pause the video to check. We're moving on now. Now sometimes you have a start time and you have to work out the finish time, or you have a finish time and you have to work out the start time. You have to think, I have to be somewhere at this time. My journey will take 1 hour 40 minutes. What time do I have to leave? You get all of these questions a lot in maths. So you really have to be confident in working them out. Okay, I think to work out a finish time is okay, but maybe to work back to the start time can be tricky. So let's try to do this one together then. We start at 20:45. So I like to start at the back really and work forward. And I think I need to go forward 1 hour. So where does that bring me? 1 before 20 is 1945. So I went my 1 hour. Now it will be the easiest for me just to go. Yes, here we can simply go 40 minutes. So you can say 45 take away 40 is 1905. It is as simple as that. Not a very difficult example, this one. Okay? Okay, pause the video, you do the rest then. And there you go, there's your answers. Hopefully that was all still okay for you. Okay, pause the video, check them, we're moving on. Now convert these times to 24-hour clock. Add 12 to an hour after noon. Noon is 12 o'clock midday. If minutes before an hour, take away from 60 to find minutes past previous hour. Does that make sense? 20 minutes to 7 in the morning. In other words, it's 20 minutes until it's 7 o'clock. That means it's past 6 o'clock. So it is 40 minutes past 6 o'clock, yes? So you had to say it's 60 minutes, take away the 20 minutes to get that 40 minutes here. And for the hour, which is the first one, you had to think it isn't 7 o'clock yet, so it's past 6. Yeah, so it's really 7 take away 1, which is 6. Okay, pause the video, you try to do the rest. We're moving to the answers now. There you go, there's your answers. Hopefully this will help you to check it. So 5:23 p.m, that's quite an easy one to do. We've got pages before this in the workbook where you would systematically practice and build on to work out these. 5:23 p.m, it's 5 plus 12, which gives you 17, yeah? There's the 17 and the 23 stay the same. Again, p.m, so it's going to be 4 plus 12. You add 12 to your hours, because p.m. will be after noon. Add 12 to any hour after noon. Okay, so all the ones that's afternoon is going to be tough one. 28 to 2 in the morning. So when it's the morning, it's not 2 o'clock yet, so it's past 1 o'clock. So that's where the 1 comes from. It's 28 to, so you have to say 60, take away 28 to get the 32 there. Hopefully these calculations will help you to understand those. We will keep working on this also with a clock face. It might be helpful for you, that worksheet. Pause the video to check, we're moving on. Now here's the clock faces. Now you might find this worksheet quite helpful. What time is it? This means it is how many minutes is it until it's going to be 6 o'clock, because this shorthand shows it's after 5 o'clock and it's before 6 o'clock. So if we look on this side, it's before, and on this side it's after. So this is before. In other words, it's 15 minutes until it is 6 o'clock. And we can say it's 15 to 6. Or we can say it's quarter to 6, yeah, because it is also a quarter. Quarter to 6. So that's what it is in words. If we look at the 12-hour clock, we've got an AM and a PM here, so really we practice everything. So we're going to think it's quarter to 6 in the morning. In other words, how many minutes is it past 5? So it was 5 o'clock when the long hand was there, and it walked all the way around to there. In other words, it was it is 45 minutes past 5. So it's 5:45. Or when we think of the 24-hour clock, we would really put the AM there, won't we? And then if we think of the 24-hour clock, we just put a 0 in front. So that shows us it's 24-hour clock. Now if it's PM, if it's 5:45 in the afternoon or evening, however you want to see it, it's PM. So we can still think it's 45 minutes past 5, but in this case it's 12 plus 5. 12 plus 5, which is 17:45 in the 24-hour clock. Now for AM and PM, obviously this will just be 5:45 PM. Okay, like that. Now this one is again 2. It is, how many minutes is it until it is 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock will be when the long hand is there. So it's 5 minutes until it is 3 o'clock. Which means simply in words 5 to 3. Yes, you will write it out 5 to 3 as it is in the answers, which I will show you just now. Now 12-hour clock and 24-hour clock, AM and PM, so we have to write every single time that exists in these worksheets. I think it's really good to practice. Okay, it's 5 minutes to 3, but can you see it is past 2? It's until it's 3 o'clock, but it is past 2 o'clock. In other words, it will be, the 2 will be there, it's past the 2. And how many minutes is it past the 2? The long hand walked all the way around clockwise up to there. In other words, that long hand walked 55 minutes. So it's 5:55 minutes past 2 and it's AM. Okay, and there it's simply the same. 2:55 PM. Now if we look at the 24-hour clock, in the morning we will just add a 0 there, 0 to 55. Now in the afternoon we would say 2 plus 12, which is 14:55. Okay, pause the video, you try to do the rest. Now there you go, there's your answers. Now in the workbook you'll have 3 pages of practicing these. Hopefully that's enough for you. See if you can figure out by checking your answers, checking the ones you're doing. Remember, this side is past. Let's just write it here. This side is past and that side is 2. Okay? The long hand is the minutes, the short hand the hour. Okay, pause the video and check. We're moving on. Now we look at train and bus times. So if you look at this, here is a train timetable. There's the stations where the train stops. So to understand this, train 1 will start off at station A at 9:15. Now it will stop at station B at 9:30. It will stop at station C at 9:47 and so on. And then there's train 2. Train 2 will start at station A at this time. We'll move on to station B, okay? So if you are on station C and you missed train 1, you can always take train 2 or train 3 or whatever. You will look down here and see what time you want to leave from station C, and you will go either to station D, E or F. So you can look, what time do I want to arrive, and then look back, when will that train be where I want to get on it. Okay, now we just practice and ask questions about it. How long does train 1 take from station A to station D? Okay, there it's station A, there it's station D. So how long is it from 9:15 to 10:05? From 9:15 to 10 o'clock is 45 minutes, and then there's another 5 minutes, so it's 50 minutes. Now you might find it useful to write it down and write a full hour in between. So I think you should be okay. Why don't you try to do all of these questions? Pause the video now, try it, and then we'll look at the answers right now. Okay, there's your answers. Now just remember this one. How long does train 5 take from station A to D? Train 5, A to D. 12:50 to 14:07. Let's work that out quickly. 12:50, and then we can go to 13:50, and then we can probably go to the next full hour and then 14:07, if that's easier. That is 1 hour, and that is 10 minutes, and that is 7 minutes. So in other words, it is 17 minutes. So it is 1 hour, 17 minutes. Now if I just gave my answer here in minutes, which is 60 plus 17, which is 77 minutes. It doesn't matter. Usually we would actually say hour and minutes. Yeah, if it's anything less than more than 60, we would possibly want to split it up in hours and minutes. It really depends how the question is asked for you. Okay, pause the video if you want to check. We're moving on. And now we're just quickly looking at some questions, which is word problems. Now this can be a bit tricky. It is the typical type of questions they ask you in the QTS mental math test, okay? A parent's evening was planned to start at 16:30. There were 20 consecutive appointments of 10 minutes each and a break of 15 minutes during the evening. At what time was the parent's evening due to finish? Okay. So it's 16:30. Now there is a 15 minutes break. They don't say when the break is, so you can immediately add your 15-minute break there. In other words, it brings you to 16:45. And now what can you do? 20 appointments of 10 minutes each, so 20 times 10. What's 20 times 10? 200 minutes. So you have to add 200 minutes. Now how long is 200 minutes? Let's think. 60 minutes is 1 hour. 120 minutes is 2 hours. 180 minutes is 3 hours. So that will be 3 hours. And 200 take away 180. 3 hours and 20 minutes. So let's quickly add 20 minutes because it will still fit in. Okay, if we add 15 minutes, we get to 17 hours, and another 5 minutes will be 17:05. And then we need to add 3 hours to this. It's 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so 20:05, which brings you to 20:05. Now if you have enough time for this, that is fine, then you can do it at your time. For the QTS test, you have to do it quite fast. In other words, you have to practice this a lot, which means you really need this book to practice your questions, okay? Try to do the other two. It's really important for anyone to be able to do this. You don't have to do it as fast as the people who do that test, but try to do it at your time, and you'll see very quickly you'll do it really fast. Pause the video and we move on now to the answers. I try to split it up a bit, my explanations, my answers here. If we look at the next one, the morning session in a school began 9:25. There were 3 lessons of 50 minutes each and a break of 20 minutes. So 3 times 50 plus the 20, that gives you 170 minutes, which is 2 hours 50. In other words, you have to say 9 hours 25 plus 2 hours 50. From 9:25 it's 10:25, 11:25. And then it's 35 minutes till 12 o'clock and another 15. So 12:15. Okay, that isn't that hard to do. You try this one on your own. I try to explain it quite well here, and then in the workbook you will get more questions, which is in the mental math and also in the calculated test. Yeah, this M here means mental math. Okay, so pause the video if you want to look at that further. Please download the workbook by following the link below, and if you want to look at any of my other workbooks, all of them really good to practice your mental math, so that's quite helpful to be quick and fast in a mental math test. And please look at those videos as well. Thank you very much for listening.